I'm Jeff Downs. I'm a Senior Director in Sales Operations for Parexel. Parexel is a CRO. We run and deliver clinical trials for pharmaceutical companies, biotech companies. We started looking at solutions like Highspot probably about 3 years ago, settled on Highspot as our preferred vendor for that, and worked with their team to get us set up in our instance. They were fantastic, had just an incredible customer success manager. So we've rolled out Highspot with probably about 2 years ago. It's focused primarily on our sales materials. So our sales team is about 200, but there's also a lot of ancillary support roles around that and client-facing roles that are in Highspot, developing using much of the material that is in Highspot. So we've really formed a very solid library of content, and those individuals will also pitch our custom proposals directly through Highspot. Highspot is it kind of supports all of our strategic initiatives that we have, or at least in the past year plus, right? It's part of our release into the organization that people are used to seeing Highspot as part of an announcement, a release, or training, what have you. There is almost always, especially 100% of the time within sales, there is a Highspot link or Highspot material to support any initiative that we're pushing. We're doing a lot of sales training. That goes through Highspot as well. Enablement at Paraxel is probably parsed out within a few different departments. When you come to events like this, you do find that a lot of other companies have really just an enablement office. We have a sales operations, we have marketing, we have inside sales, we have a competitive intelligence small team, and enablement's kind of bounced around amongst and shared amongst those groups. Those groups are definitely the most active within Highspot in terms of managing the content and pushing out information to our sales teams. Probably two ways. One way is before Highspot, we didn't really have a reliable document management system. And so, every salesperson is an individual and have their own ideas about what they want their presentations to look like. We do a lot of in-person or virtual bid pursuit presentations, right? So it would be PowerPoint or it would be a significant Word document. And we were seeing that we just had an incredible variety of templates and the way that the messages were being framed, and the way that these were being presented to clients. And clients were responding with, this looks very inconsistent, and even within the same deck. So you'd have maybe they get the backgrounds all consistent, but then you'd have some kind of text on this slide, and the text is different in this slide. And so Highspot has really helped us to say, this is our branded template. This is the formats that you use. We're going to be very consistent with our messaging and how it looks to the client. And it's going to be nice. It's going to be slick. So Highspot has really helped in that regard. Number two is, and this is probably the biggest part, that's a pretty big one on number one, but number two, we found that our reps weren't really sharing with each other, or maybe if they were, it was just in their smaller teams. So they'll have a team of 3, 4, 5 different salespeople reporting into a manager, and maybe they're all doing the same sort of thing. They're all they can share their same material within that team. They'll have team meetings, and it kind of gets handed around out of everybody's personal folder. But with Highspot, now everybody knows that material goes into Highspot. So people are actively sharing all of this material in. They're required to, but they also like the results. So they're definitely following through with it. We don't have to do a lot of chasing to get them to get the material in there. Now we have this collection of knowledge and material that people can go to and find what's best. What did we do last time we presented to this client, or we presented on this particular service, or within this therapeutic area? What did we say? Did we win it? Did we lose it? Why did we lose it? So people can go into Highspot and now we have this collective knowledge that's really improved everybody's output in terms of putting these presentations together and then meeting with the clients. We try to follow the Highspot methodology in terms of their plays. This is what to know, this is what to show, this is what to do. We find that really kind of speaks to the end user. It's really easier to relate to. It's easy to follow. So that's the model that we try to use in terms of putting together sales plays for our teams. Highspot is the journey and the destination. I would say that we're looking to become a better partner to our sales teams. How can we really drive the performance of your reps, work with our VPs and our sales leaders to give them what they need. We balance in between very transactional sales operations and into very more aspirational sales enablement. And Highspot does help with that. We've been able to have the conversations using the analytics to show sales leaders what their teams are doing in there. The sales people definitely love to see the tag on analytics in terms of who's reading it and who's reading what. The proposals team like to see that, who's lingering on what pages of each proposal, so we get that great analytics in terms of, all right, do we really need this information if everybody just skips right by it, right? Everybody's going to look at the price and they go there first and then they come back through. So we are trying to evolve a little bit more what we're looking for with Highspot and within our teams for the next year or so is to get more involved with during the sales cycle and in the delivery cycle. We have a very long bid cycle between the time we kind of form a relationship, receive an RFP, put together very custom, detailed, complex solutions to run a trial, right? And then, so that period of time, we want to also be using Highspot to interact with the decision makers, cross-sell. Then we have to deliver the trial. That's another 2 or 3 years of interaction with that client, right? And we're not doing anything proactively right now. So that's where we also want to kind of develop ways through Highspot to be pitching additional material, additional ideas, and what have you during that. I will just say that Highspot, whenever we bring it up with executive meetings or just in conversation on sales meetings, is universal approval rate, 100%. Probably, I've been at Paraxel for 15. This has definitely been the most successful rollout of any platform I've seen, not just sales related, but anything that whether we build it ourselves or we bring it in, Highspot is the one that people point to now and say, we need it to go like that. You find that even the low end users, people that aren't in it as much as everyone else, still find ways that they like it. And then certainly the more active users kind of explore even additional ways that they can, be effective using Highspot. And so, yeah, we're really fortunate to have Highspot.